Hello, hello. It's Kyle Shannon with the AI Learning Lab. Hope you're all doing well on this fine Saturday. What we do here at the lab is talk about AI stuff. And if you're new to AI, that is the official ChatGPT website, chat.openai.com. I'm not affiliated with it, but that's the real deal. That's the official place. If you have questions about AI, pop them in the comments. There's just a couple of us here now, so wait for the others to come in. But hey everybody. And let's see, what else? I don't know. I am a entrepreneur for many years. Started 10 or 12 companies. I was a pioneer, I suppose, in the early days of the web. Started one of the first digital agencies, a company called agency.com. And one of the reasons I started this channel is that I see some pretty remarkable parallels between what happened with the World Wide Web and what's happening now with generative AI. And that's why I started this channel, to, I don't know, learn as much as I can, share as much as I learn, things like that. Hard to see comments with your cool shirt. Well, sorry about that. Here, I'll try to keep it. Here, what can I do here? I can put it up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. That's bad. I guess I could change shirts. What else? What else do I have? I have a little black gift bag here. I can just hold this right here. If you have questions about AI, pop them in there. I'm happy to answer them. Trying to think what went on. Like, so much goes on every week that it's almost impossible to keep up with anything anymore. There's just gargantuan amounts of stuff going on. If you are, I'm trying to think, what's worth talking. If you haven't used ChatGPT before, this is ChatGPT, and I have ChatGPT Plus, which basically means you get access to GPT-4, which is, there's two little tabs at the top. One is GPT-3, one is GPT-4. And then if you pay for the Plus thing, you also get access to ChatGPT being connected to the internet, but also with plugins. And those are both really cool. So when ChatGPT is connected to the internet, you can ask it things like, how much is it supposed to rain in Denver today? ? And it will go browse the web for you. So it is out there. Hello, Liza. How are you? Good to see you. If you're new here, pop any questions you have about AI into the comments. This is the AI Learning Lab. Looks like a few more people are showing up. It's a Saturday. I don't know why you'd be hanging out here, but it's cool that you're hanging out here. Some have mentioned GPT-4 performance is changing or declining. Opinion. For the stuff I do, which is it's not super intense, research or coding or things like that, I haven't seen a quality dip, but I have seen a performance dip where it's slow and it's been a little cranky for the past week and a half or 2 weeks. Some of my Zapier automations are failing for two reasons. Zapier has some sort of bug with Google Forms, which is a pain in the ass, and it fails for that. And then sometimes OpenAI API calls are failing. So my Zapier automations for the past couple of weeks have been in a bad place, which sucks. Is there a free way to access Midjourney? No. Well, you can go to Midjourney, and I think they give you some amount of tokens for free, but it ends up being like 15 or 20 images. It's not a lot. So there's not, and I mean, unfortunately, Midjourney is still kind of the best game in town. Although, boy, check this thing. Style something. Wait, Google style copy. Google style image AI. What was it called? I forgot what it was called. I think I have it in my Twitter here somewhere. Hold, please. Profile. StyleDrop. Google StyleDrop. This stuff is amazing. Check out. So you put in this little image here, like of a kid's drawing, and then all of these other drawings are prompted. Like a butterfly in that style, an F1 race car, a moose. So like that's one style. Here's a, starry night as the source image. And then, wait, hang on, my little stand is messed up. Let me come over here so you can kind of see both. So that's a Van Gogh thing. Then they did the same painting, but they pulled all the blue out of it, and it matches that. There's another painting of his, another. This one is really remarkable. This is like that sort of classic 90s illustration style, and they're just using one image to the left, and it does all the things to the right. So, I mean, this is one of those technologies that is just literally going to change the game, right? Because you can take a single image, and it kind of learns everything about it. The color palettes, the style. I think, is it this previous one here? How do you get back? Yeah, like that one. Like, look at how that little moose is in the car. Like, it just completely learns the style. Like, it's just remarkable what's coming. So anyway, that stuff's coming. Eric Sanders here. Yo, Eric, what's shaking? Can't get enough of me, huh? I'm sorry. I'm in too many places. All right. That's awesome. Thank you for coming. Wait, is there a free way to... Oh, that's you, Eric, asking about Midjourney. There's not. There's, what's that thing called? Blue Vine? Is Blue Vine the thing? Hold, please. Blue Vine? Is that right? No, that's financial services. Hang on. Let me go to Discord. Blue Willow. Blue Willow. So, Eric, if you go to Blue Willow, I assume it's bluewillow.com, but all these AI companies have Blue Willow. Wait. Blue Willow. Free AI art generator. So it's bluewillow.ai. So go to bluewillow.ai, and then it will point you to their Discord. So try our free beta. We'll dump you over to the Discord, I think, unless they've changed it. Yeah. And then, so this works like Midjourney, but this is built on top of Stable Diffusion. But it's free. I don't know how they're paying for this. I really, honestly, maybe this is just they try to get a bunch of users. Is there anything you want me to try or test out while you are live? I don't know. Give me some suggestions, possibly. I look like Rosie O'Donnell. Thank you very much. Someone else said, let me show you the full grandeur. I'm Rosie. Someone else said they were scrolling through TikTok and they were like, oh, it's Alec Baldwin. Boy, did he get fat. So thank you for the troll. Some of my Apple shortcuts are failing too. Time out. Saturday with the kids, dishes plus learning about AI. Awesome. That's great. Welcome. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be in here. I probably got to go shopping or something. You know, wife and family stuff will take over at some point. But I'll hang out with y'all for a bit. Oh, there's 100 people here. There's just a dozen for a while. So if you're new here, this is the AI Learning Lab. I'm Kyle Shannon. I'm just a guy that's teaching myself a bit about AI and sharing what I can along the way. I've been an entrepreneur for a lot of years. I was there for the birth of the World Wide Web. I was living in New York City at the time, and kind of discovered the World Wide Web around 94, and published one of the first online magazines and started one of the first digital agencies, and really rode that wave up. So really got to experience what it's like to be at the ground floor of a transformative technology, and it's remarkable. And the parallels between 1994 and this year are just remarkable. 94, 95, and last year and this year are remarkable. I think this AI stuff is way more profound than the World Wide Web. I think it's moving dramatically faster. In fact, I've said this before. If you've been here before, you've heard me say this, but it took about 6 years to get to 100 million users of the World Wide Web. It took 6 weeks to get to 100 million users of ChatGPT. That's the URL for ChatGPT. I don't make any money off it. I just think people should, if you're here and not doing the dishes, you should go start playing with that right now while I'm talking, because listening to me is kind of boring. Mom, can we get Alec Baldwin? We have Alec Baldwin at home. Yeah. Can we get chubby Alec Baldwin? What's this site called? Which site? The site I was on. This is Discord. Is that what you're asking about? And it's Blue Willow is the image generation tool here. So basically, if you go into one of these rookie channels, I think you do it just like Midjourney. Here, I'll off to the side. Like once you sign up and sign in, and then in this case, I think it's rookies. I suppose after a certain amount of images, you graduate out of rookie mode. I haven't done that. But I think you type in /imagine. Is that right? Yeah. So you type in /imagine, and then there's a prompt there, and you say 1970s muscle car in an abandoned factory. Bang. Exciting prompt. Stay tuned for the results. Positive reinforcement is everything. All right, so we will see if that does anything interesting. That 70s muscle car one is a fun one. When I first tried to use... oh, there it is. Those are not bad. Yeah. Now, it's not really an abandoned factory. Those look like mighty clean factories to me. But those are definitely 70s muscle cars. Cool. So that's Blue Willow. It's free. So we can reproduce art like Van Gogh's without any mental illness attached. Exactly. That was talking about StyleDrop, that new announcement from Google. That StyleDrop is not out, by the way, which is kind of a drag. StyleDrop. If you weren't here when I just showed this, I'll show it again. StyleDrop Google. StyleDrop text to image generation. So this is pretty remarkable. So it's called StyleDrop. And then let me see. I will zoom in on this. So in the little corner is the reference image, and then like the prompt here is a logo with the letters StyleDrop in a 3D rendering style. So it pulls the color palette and visual style from the source image, and then just does it remarkably well. I mean, good Lord. Good Lord. What have we created? What have we done, people? What have we done? And if you were here before, I just showed this, but still, this stuff blows my mind. Dun, dun, dun. Oops, I went plus. I need to go minus. Hold, please. So the little image to the left is the source image, and then all those images to the right are what were created just by magic. It's, like that one. Like it's such a specific illustration style. And like how it stylized the hat and the little robot in the lower left corner. And then this is a completely different style. So the moose is completely different. The robot's completely different still. Completely different still. And that's just pulling that style from that little illustration of a pine tree with a drop shadow. Notice all the things have drop shadows on them, the little white outline. Good Lord. Good Lord, what's happening? Good Lord, what's happening? Okay. Let's see. I'm selling AI patterns on Etsy right now. I feel bad, but I need money. Don't feel bad, Sadie. Listen, everyone's going to do this, and these tools are really good at creating patterns. And here's how I look at it. There's one of the things that that I hear people saying right now is, AI made this, AI made that. The AI is the tool, but saying AI made this is kind of the equivalent of saying Photoshop made that photo. No, a photographer made that photo and edited it in Photoshop and did touch up and things like that. And it was the photographer that chose what image to put in there, how to edit it, whether or not to share it, how to crop it. It's the same thing with AI. If you figured out how to do really cool patterns in Midjourney or on Stable Diffusion, and you're creating non-repeating patterns, and they're fucking beautiful because you've got a good eye, who cares what tool you used? Like, why should you be penalized because you figured out a way to make it take, 15 or 20 minutes to do that pattern instead of 3 days like you might have traditionally, or 4 hours or whatever it might be? There's no shame in that. These are just tools. They happen to be the most powerful tools in the history of humanity. Don't get me wrong. They're absolutely fucking intense, and they're going to absolutely change almost every profession. But do not feel guilty. Do not feel guilty. I mean, everyone deserves to be self-expressed and find ways to make money. And so, anyway, I do not fault you at all for using these tools. In fact, I encourage it. Make more. I kind of look like her. That's Rosie O'Donnell. Thanks. Good God. What have I done with my life? Hi, no idea who you are. Are you famous or something? Well, apparently I look like Rosie O'Donnell or fat Alec Baldwin. But no, I'm not famous. I'm Kyle Shannon. I'm the creator of this channel, the AI Learning Lab. I'm just a guy learning about AI. The channel here is about, if you have any questions about AI, pop them in, and I will do my best to answer them. So let's go. Preston Rhodes. All right, remember those days? I guess that was in reference to the World Wide Web days. All right, let's see. I still don't 100% understand Discord. Can you explain? Yeah, I think I did, but Discord's a real pain in the ass. These are servers. Well, or at the very top, the bell right there is the official ChatGPT website. If you've not played with ChatGPT, shame on you. You're at the AI Learning Lab. We learn about AI here. Go there, start playing, do it. You're going to have to do it anyway because it's going to be rolled into every piece of software you use, so might as well start now. Hello. Who said that? Hey, Chat. Cece, how are you? Let's see. This is the beginning of the beginning. That's Eric Sanders saying that. You are correct, sir. We are so early in this stuff. The parallels to the early days of the web are just mind-shattering, because it's just right now all of these AI tools, as remarkable as they are, they're kind of these sort of broken little toys that there's a couple of decades of research and science that are sitting underneath them, but the actual tool, like, here's a fun little fact. ChatGPT itself was programmed in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and they launched it in 2 weeks, and then it went to 100 million users in 6 weeks. So ChatGPT is getting better, but it is a very raw piece of software. All of this stuff is very raw. And so if you ever see something like it just doesn't look good, or the hands are messed up, or ChatGPT lies, or all that sort of stuff, just know that we are at the beginning of the beginning. You won't be able to make a channel. You won't be able to make a channel in the company's server. I'm not quite sure what that means. I assume that meant for Discord. So difficult for Illustrator Mama to survive style copying. Listen, here's the deal. I was chief creative officer of agency.com. The entire suite of creative professions are going to be disrupted dramatically. The only thing I can say is that creative people that learn AI and learn how to wield these tools well are going to be better at it than non-creatives, for one thing. But also, in terms of job longevity, I think using these tools is going to be a requirement. and not everyone's going to do it. And so I would say lean in heavy. I did one of my TikTok videos in the channel was about, if you're afraid of this stuff, I would say find the thing in AI that scares you the most and lean into that, learn the most about that, because it's probably the part of AI that most directly threatens, your current identity or your current livelihood. But start learning that, because you'll be better at that than other people who don't have your expertise. So I completely understand the existential angst. I kind of live in this duality right now of I'm as excited as I've ever been and I'm as scared as I've ever been. And I'm not scared like dystopian future scared. I mean, I think that stuff's a possibility, but I'm more scared that even if it's all positive change, it's a lot of change, and it's going to be a lot of change very fast that I don't think people are prepared for. Is there an AI that process a video and make shorter clips from it? Yeah, if you go to video, VIDYO, VIDYO.ai, and let's see, start for free. I think I have an account here. Welcome, Kyle Shannon. Apparently I do, yes. So like here's a speech I gave at Creative Mornings. It's like a 25-minute speech, and it chunked out all these little vertical clips out of a longer form piece. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good. I put Musk up there just because he's literally launching rockets and, making electric cars possible. And I kept having this feeling like, is this one of those? Is this a thing? And so I taught myself this thing called stable diffusion, where you had to actually get right. So you just upload a long form video. It pieces them out. You kind of select, do you want square format, vertical format, or horizontal format? It chunks them up. You can then change the in and out points and things like that. So the answer is yes. There's going to be a ton of those things as well. And there's probably other ones. Most terrifying for illustrators is that you can copy their style that took them a lifetime to create. My co-host of the AI Salon, her name's Leah Faston. She's been a professional photographer for 25 years. And, she came into this thinking, listen, I went through the digital revolution from film to digital, and that was disruptive, but, I could manage that. And I think she came into this AI stuff with the same spirit. And then it pretty quickly became apparent to her that it's going to be relatively trivial for someone to take one of her photographs and mimic the style and be able to create anything. And so I think she's in the middle of facing that right now. And she's looking to, how do I reinvent, my definition of what I do? And if you've been doing stuff for 25 years like her, it's tough. It's even the dog agrees. Champ. Sorry. Hold. Stop. Don't you know I'm on TikTok? Damn dogs don't understand what TikTok Live is. You can't bark when daddy's on live. You can't do it. All right. Let's see, exactly. The idea is coming from humans still. Yeah, so that was in reference to the fact that, these AI tools are not making the art. It's people with intention making the art. Here's what remains. What remains a requirement and what remains a critical skill with all these fancy new tools is critical thinking and strategy and taste and curation and refinement and, all the stuff that is... When you see really good work, it's coming from a point of view, which means it's coming from a human. These machines don't have points of view. They happen to be incredibly capable assistants, but Microsoft calls their tools co-pilots. I think that's the best branding I've heard and the best definition of what these things are. You're still the pilot. AI tools are co-pilots. They're just really fucking powerful ones. Oops. I just lost my place in questions. If you're new here, looks like we got some new people. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. We are learning about AI in a lab or a home office. go to, if you have not played with ChatGPT, that top URL is the ChatGPT URL. Prompts.chat, that thing below it, is just a thing that will teach you about prompting and give you a bunch of ideas. Futurepedia is a list of AI tools that will make your head melt and ruin your weekend. So don't go there. Do not go to futurepedia.io. And if you have questions about AI in any form, pop it in the thing. I will do my best to answer it. Happy Saturday. It's a little rainy here in Denver. It's the last 2-3 weeks here in Denver have been very weird. It's normally very sunny all the time, but it has been rainy, like East Coast rainy, for like 3 weeks now. So can I use this to build a better website for my business? Yeah, you can. It will code for you. There are, if you use the plugins, okay, if you're brand new to this stuff, so if you go to that ChatGPT, and so that list of things down the left is my history. And hang on, my it should be, it is, right? So that's super cool. So it made this table. It gave me a description of what the paper is, and then it classified it. This one's interesting. This one's worth a look. I didn't give it worth a look as a category. This one's exciting. This one's interesting, exciting, worth a look, interesting. Breakthrough. Okay, so this bottom one, deep learning for anomaly detection, a survey. This survey paper provides comprehensive overview of the use of deep learning for anomaly detection, a critical task in many applications such as fraud detection and network security. So plugins turn ChatGPT from remarkable to, oh my God, like the amount of time, I would never do that. I would never go to a white paper site and sift through the things and read the papers enough to understand what they are, that I could even categorize them. Like, I wouldn't do it in the first place. I have ADD. I just don't give enough of a shit about that stuff to do it. But if I can just say, hey, ChatGPT, go find me some shit and analyze it, and it does, like, that's the kind of, the ability for ChatGPT to now use tools is going to, is just going to change the game. So this goes back to your question about, can I help you build a better website? I'm pretty sure, I was looking through some of the plugins last night. I'm pretty sure there are plugins in there that will analyze your current website and give you recommendations for ways to improve it. All right, these tools will be required for most jobs. Yes, yeah, they're going to get rolled into, like, the Microsoft Copilot is going to get rolled into Office 365, Dynamics, Azure, Windows 11. It's going to be built into the operating system. Monday, there's a big Apple Worldwide Developers Conference where they're announcing their goggles. They're also going to be announcing some AI stuff, I think. Like, imagine Siri as a really powerful assistant. They've already announced that in the next iOS operating system, you're going to be able to clone your voice, and you're going to be able to send voice messages without actually having to record them, but it will be in your voice. And they'll probably do something with the face. They'll probably do something with agents, autonomous agents. So, raised my hand to look into how to use AI for my team, and my boss wanted to consult experts. Fuck my life. I'm right there with you. So here's what you can tell your boss. From a guy sitting in his home office in Denver on TikTok, there are no fucking experts. No one is an expert at this shit right now. Okay, that's not true. There are data scientists and machine learning experts that have been working in the AI field for the past bunch of decades. What they're not experts on right now is generative AI, ChatGPT forward, basically. So think from November 30th, 2022 until now, that's the window that we're talking. As Eric said earlier, we are at the beginning of the beginning. So I'm happy to talk to your boss. I'll tell him, you can tell him I'm an expert. I'm happy to talk to him. And what I'll tell him is, let Kavruno, I don't know what your name is, let that person start exploring for you, because I think you're a she will become the expert. So I share your frustration. Bosses need to get their heads out of their asses and start embracing this stuff. And if they've got employees that are coming to them going, hey boss, I'd like to figure this shit out for you, they should be going, oh my God, hallelujah, bring it on. Ugh. That's why I started this channel, to educate bosses like your boss to get their head out of their ass. I suggested that writers ask ChatGPT to write a new season of Criminal Intent. Yeah, I know, it's really good at writing. By the way, if you are a writer, there was an interesting Andrej Karpathy, who's the chief data scientist for OpenAI for ChatGPT. He gave a speech to the Microsoft Developers Conference last week, and he was talking about prompt engineering and how you do it. If you're a writer, give ChatGPT examples of your work. So say, based on this, and then paste in a block of your work that's representative of the style that you're trying to write, and then give it a prompt to write something. It's really good at mimicking examples that you give it style-wise. Yes, but it should also, I think we're going to see a lot of innovation and exciting new creative projects as a result of ChatGPT. So hopefully that'll migrate its way into the TV. Then I remembered that there was a writer's strike. Yeah, well, so the writer's strike. I've written 7 screenplays. I know the world well. I support the writer's strike, but their request to not have studios replace them with robots, I think, is incredibly short-sighted and a bit of a miss. It's a bit of an oversight. Here you've got the most incredible writing tool in the history of mankind at your fingertips, and the union is saying, fuck that, we're never going to use that tool. It's only about human writers. When ChatGPT is rolled into Microsoft Word, and it's rolled into every screenwriting software out there, and it's rolled into all of the Google Docs, and it's in all the note-taking applications, it's going to be ubiquitous. So it's not like right now, ChatGPT is this thing off to the side. It's like this little hermetically sealed thing, and we're like, we're going to have ChatGPT detectors, and we're going to detect if you're using those stupid robot tools. Well, when that stupid robot tool is integrated into every other tool that you use, where's the distinction between it was written by AI and it was a human assisted by AI? I don't know where that boundary line is. And quite frankly, I don't think it's relevant. It's still up to the writer to refine the results and have the intent in the first place and do the editing in the first place, right? So I think the Writers Guild has got to get their shit together sooner than later, because I think they're going to... They could strike themselves into a real position of weakness, is my fear for the writing community. Now, listen, I do not pretend to think that these AI tools aren't going to fuck up a lot of careers, because they are. It is. But at the same time, we're not stopping it. It's kind of like this. I have this joke that I've been saying that, trying to fight against this AI thing is kind of like the state of Florida declaring that they're no longer accepting hurricanes. Okay, great. Good policy. I agree. You should not have hurricanes. And then, the next hurricane's going to come along and blow down some houses. That's what we're in the face of with this AI stuff. It's coming whether we want it or not. So you might as well lean in. That's the purpose of this channel. Just go there and start playing. And by the way, if you're one of those cynical troll types that's like, he's making a fortune off of pointing people there, he's getting a commission every time he uses ChatGPT. It's not true. I'm just a dude pointing you to a site that doesn't suck. What tool were we just using for the icons and small sketches? So it's not a tool that's out yet, called StyleDrop. And this is a new paper from Google. So don't forget, Google invented the transformer, the core technology that sits underneath ChatGPT and all of these remarkable image generation tools. That was all invented by Google. There's a paper from 2017 called Attention is All You Need, where they introduced this idea, this thing called a transformer. That's the foundation for everything. So this is just one of many pieces of technology that Google has announced. This was announced yesterday or the day before. But check out what this thing does. So I just, every time I see some of this AI stuff, every friggin' time I'm like, I can't get my head around how good this stuff is. So this little image here, that's my little finger, my fat finger, that little image there of a kid's drawing is the source image. All of these other drawings were generated from AI to match that style. So it matches the color palette, it matches the wrinkled paper, it figures out like how a kid would draw a moose, like where would they use the green, where would they use the yellow. And then so that's a kid's drawing. Here's Starry Starry Night. Here's Starry Starry Night with the blue removed. Here's another Van Gogh self-portrait. There's another Van Gogh self-portrait. Here's some cool 90s illustration style that it just fucking nails. Here's some other kind of 90s, like this is that bad clip art you see everywhere, but like all of those illustrations are being generated whole cloth out of nothing based on the style of the single source image. It's just remarkable. So that's that. It's not available yet though, so tough. You know, they just tease us. They tease us. They tease us with these tools. What are we supposed to do? I want to go play. Wait, speaking of which, I think, all right, we're twirling. Come on. Oh, by the way, if you want to subscribe to the channel, I have a goal of 13 subscribers. I'm up to 5. I mean, I have like 19,000 followers for my TikTok channel, but subscriptions to the live, I've got 5 of them. I don't know what happens if you subscribe to my lives. And if it costs you anything, please don't subscribe. I don't think I'm worth paying for. But this Google Music LM thing does not appear to be working. I heard it was working. I figured we could play together, but ain't nothing happening. Let me try to reload and see if it just crashed the page. Could not fetch waitlist status. Well, that's shitty. All right. I guess we're doing nothing there then. All right. There you have it. All right. Any copyright issues with AI that I should watch out for? Yes. So, images in particular, but potentially even with writing. So here's the thing. The next 20 years is going to be a never-ending series of lawsuits and counter-lawsuits about copyright and trademark and intellectual property infringement. The intellectual property lawyers are ecstatic right now. It's hard to describe. So there's lots of gray areas. With the image generation, if you're using it commercially, what I would suggest, especially if you're working with a big Fortune 500 companies and things like that, use Adobe tools. Use Adobe Firefly and use generative fill within Adobe Photoshop, because what Adobe wisely did was they trained their image model on Adobe stock images that they owned outright and on public domain images. So there's nothing in the training data of Adobe stock that they don't have clearance for. So anything that you generate, there is essentially, well, I can't say zero. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't even play one on the internet. There's a very low likelihood that you're going to be in any sort of hot water. If you're using something like Midjourney or Stable Diffusion, which were trained on a bunch of copywritten images, my friend Kenny Friedman, who's a creative director, who's really good at this AI image generation stuff, he's made a personal commitment that when he does the prompting, he never uses a specific artist's name. If it's someone, like one of the classics, like Van Gogh, he might do that. But any living artist, he's not using their name. So that's a way that you can avoid it. But if you create something that is close enough to someone's likeness, I think there might be lawsuits brought. If you're on the other side and saying, can I actually copyright some of this stuff? That remains to be seen. What's not clear to me is, okay, if I go to Midjourney and I create an image, from whole cloth out of Midjourney, what the Copyright Office is saying right now is that there's no human contribution there. I disagree with that, because I put in the prompt and I'm the one that generated 100 images, of which I chose one of them that I think is the good one, right? I think just like using a camera, the camera is actually doing all the work, but you're pointing it, you're figuring out what lens to use, you're figuring out exposure settings. So I feel like it's a similar kind of thing. But whether or not you can copyright AI generated stuff is up for grabs. And then with Photoshop's new generative fill, where's the point at which it was AI generated? If I start with a photograph and I expand it, and 90% of that image is AI generated, and 10% of it is my original photograph. But it all started from my original photograph. Is that copyrightable? Is that AI generated, or is that human generated? I don't know, and I don't think it's particularly relevant from a creative standpoint. The lawyers are going to spend the next 2 decades figuring that shit out. So yes, there are issues, but I wouldn't worry too much about it because it's way above any of our pay grades. It's going to have to be figured out at a much higher level. Can I please explain stochastic gradient descent? I can't. I heard Andre Karpathy talk about it. Well, wait. Of course I can. One of the ways I describe stable diffusion, or not stable diffusion, ChatGPT, is knowledge on demand. And it can absolutely help us figure this the fuck out. Explain stochastic gradient descent as if I have a degree in acting, i.e., I ain't got no book smarts. And yes, you can talk to these things like an idiot and it still understands what you're asking for. Oh, wait, here, let me flip over here. Absolutely. I'll try to explain it in a way that's easier to digest. It didn't troll me, which is good. Let's imagine you're the director of a play and your mission is to, it's giving me acting metaphors. Sorry about that. That's kind of stupid. All right. Your mission is to deliver the best performance possible. However, you have thousands of individual elements to manage: actors, performances, lighting, sound, props, blah, blah, blah. You could try to make all the changes at once, say, give direction to all the actors, adjust all the lights, change all the props in one fell swoop, but that would be chaotic and almost impossible. So you opt for a different approach. You focus on improving one element at a time based on immediate feedback. Oh, okay, I see what this is. So in a similar way, stochastic gradient descent, SGD, is a method that is used to find the best possible settings for a model. The model settings are adjusted bit by bit. So yeah, basically what they're doing is they're taking the results. I assume they're taking the results of a prompt. They're analyzing that in some way. They fix some piece of it. They reanalyze it, fix some piece of it. So it's something like that. But anyway, go play with ChatGPT to dig deeper on that, and it will do it. It's a great way to use the tool. I'll often use ChatGPT. I'll be on the phone with someone smarter than me, which is nearly every call I'm on. Hang on, I need some coffee. And they will say something that is outside of my knowledge domain. And I'll just quickly pop into ChatGPT and say, in one sentence, describe what this is so I can get my head around it. So it's a good way to use it. Stuck in a local minimum, go back and use a rocket. I don't know what that's in reference to. Excited that Apple is going to do as Microsoft will be rolling out Copilot. Yeah, or excited what Apple is going to be rolling out. Apple has been suspiciously quiet on the AI front, which tells me that they're coming up with something cool. All of these companies have been doing deep AI research for decades, right? They all have some skunk works back there. ChatGPT has forced them out of the shadows, right? The fact that we haven't heard a peep from Apple should mean that Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time is the big keynote speech for the Worldwide Developers Conference. They're going to be announcing their AR, VR goggles, and they're also going to be, what's it called? They're going to be announcing some AI stuff, so it's going to be pretty cool. All right, you got something in your nose. Probably a booger. Sorry about that. Might just be hair. I'm old. When you're old, you go to the barber and they're cutting your hair. I haven't been in a while. And they're like, would you like me to trim the hair off your ears? And you're like, oh, God. Oh, what have I done? So anyway, sorry about that. All right, I asked it to take 1,100 word down to 6, save me so much time. Yeah, it's good at rewriting stuff. It's good at analyzing stuff. Can I use this to build a website for my business? We talked about that. These tools will be required for most jobs. Oh, I think I'm way behind on my questions. Sorry about that. Sorry, didn't get the name of the AI for short video clips. Vidyo, VIDYO.ai. Hopefully you got that. Have you tried Claude? I have tried Claude. Let me show you something. I thought I had it up here. Nope. But I can type 3 letters. So here's Poe. So the cool thing about Poe is you can go use Claude at Anthropic's site, but Poe gives you access to lots of different models. Sage is Poe's model, Quora, GPT-4, and then there's 3 different Claude models, and then there's ChatGPT, and then you can make your own bots. Like I made a Sling Blade bot, I made a Yoda bot, I made a Shakespeare bot. So you can make your own bots. Those are fun. So if you go to poe.com/IamShakespeare or I am Yoda, you can play with the bot that I made. But anyway, Claude Instant is incredibly fast. It's like GPT 3.5, but it's incredibly fast. Claude Plus is more like GPT-4. It's a direct competitor to GPT-4. And Anthropic, the company behind Claude, was founded by a bunch of ex-OpenAI people. The people that made GPT-3 quit and started Anthropic, so they know what they're doing. And then there's also this. Claude Instant 100K. So if you pay for the Poe subscription, which I think is $20 a month, and I've paid for it because I wanted access to this, Claude 100K, what that means is it's got a context window of 100,000 tokens, which basically means this. You can put in up to 75,000 words into your prompt. So you could literally paste in a novel as the prompt and say, write me an epilogue, write me a whatever, rewrite the last chapter, whatever you want to do, and it will analyze it and read it. So yeah, I have tried Claude, and it's quite good. I am still partial to GPT-4 for whatever reason. It might be short established nostalgia, but I think it's better. But the 100,000 token limit for Claude is absolutely amazing. How would one become a prompt engineer? Start prompting, start playing, go there, start solving problems with ChatGPT, and then go to the link below it, prompts.chat, and that will teach you a lot about prompt engineering. I also prefer to call it prompt crafting rather than prompt engineering. It is like engineering in that you're kind of thinking like a programmer, but you're using natural language. But it's a very creative process, and it's not you don't create a single massive prompt and then get a perfect answer. It tends to be lots of little prompts and lots of back and forth with the large language models. Can AI fix the feed? I don't know. Is my feed screwed up? Is it lagging for anyone else? Am I still lagging? Tap the heart button if you can hear me and I'm still here. Like tap the screen or whatever. Let me see if I'm actually functional. All right. Looks like I'm still functional. All right. Here's the reason for the lag. Xfinity sucks. Thanks, Comcast. I pay you how much? For what? Doesn't appear to be video nor sound. Like when everyone was saying that no one is going to make money selling on the internet. Exactly. Happy to help you present yourself to your boss as an AI expert. Oh, cool. So it looks like you guys are supporting one another. Someone said they were trying to go to their boss. Eric Sanner, by the way, the guy that's in here that's offering to be an AI expert, is an awesome dude and is really wicked smart. So take him up on that. I asked ChatGPT to write a comprehensive report on change management for our company. Boss not amused. Well, boss needs to get his head out of his ass. Boss should embrace what you wrote and go fix the fucking company, in my humble opinion. If I have an employee that takes the initiative to go figure out how to do some change management, the assumption there is that you're trying to make change and it ain't working, so you got to do something different. Boss needs to check his ego at the door, take off his stupid fucking hat and listen to his employees. All right. I have a ton of newsletters that I do via Emma. I could send it the links to read them online to see. Yes, you can. And the new plugin, well, so you've got ChatGPT now can search the internet, but there's also plugins that will go specifically read PDFs or web links or things like that. You can give it a whole list of web links and it'll go read all the contents of them and then you can analyze across them. It's pretty freaking slick if you ask me. All right, how do I get AI on my desktop so I can use some of the features of ChatGPT? You mean without an internet connection? in that case, you would probably need a decently kick-ass machine, but you can the developer community is taking these open source large language models and making them very, very efficient. There are now a bunch of different projects out there that you can install a large language model on your like laptop. There's even one that'll run on iOS on a phone without any internet connection. They're almost as good as ChatGPT 3.5. They're not GPT-4. They're not connected to the internet, but there's using the open source large language models, you can do it. But if you have an internet connection, just go there. Just go to chat.openai.com. That's the official ChatGPT. You don't need to install it. It's just a website. There is an official iOS app for ChatGPT. I would strongly recommend you do not just go to the App Store because you will be confused by the 862 fake ChatGPT apps. What I would do, if you want the official Chat, and on the homepage of OpenAI.com is a link to the iOS app. Go use that link. That's the official ChatGPT app. You don't have to pay for it. There's a bunch of ones out there you have to pay for. You should not be paying for the ChatGPT app. Period. It's one of the reasons I keep putting this URL up here like a dum-dum. I'm a dum-dum. I ain't the smartest kind of feller, but I does like my coffee. All right. But the report was excellent. Okay. Oh, the report of the change management? I'm sure it was. Bosses need to get, they need to get a clue. I mean, seriously, if you've got employees that are taking initiative to solve some shit for you, fucking step aside. I mean, sorry, I'm a CEO of a company, and more often than not, what is brought to you is, hey, boss, this thing sucks. Okay, have any ideas? Oh, no, I haven't thought about that. Okay, there's the door. But if someone comes to me and says, hey, boss, this thing sucks, and I went to ChatGPT, and I figured out how to fix it. What do you think? Listen. Good Lord, people. Like, it ain't that hard. Is it? Apparently it is. I don't know what's going on in the professional world anymore. I really don't. Nobody answers phones anymore. Nobody responds to emails. People just don't show up to fucking meetings. It's driving me crazy. Anyone else experiencing that? Tap the screen if you feel like there is just a corporate malaise cast up amongst the world. Getting lots of hearts. I don't know what's going on. People have just checked the fuck out of everything. I'm done with it. I'm bitter? You betcha. Oh, see now. I'm sorry. I got lost in my comments that I'm answering. So if I have not answered your question, that's because I'm lost. All right. Where am I? The problem is ChatGPT is not optimized to be correct. It's optimized to sound correct. Yeah, that's correct. So ChatGPT will what they call hallucinate or lie, or as I call it, mansplaining as a service. It will confidently answer you even if it's wrong. One of the things you can do is ask it to analyze its work and see if it thinks it's right. That sometimes helps. Found your channel a few days ago. So interesting. Thanks for the content. Thank you so much, Aaron. I appreciate it. Can you please explain stochastic gradient descent? Oh, man, I'm way off of my questions. I did that a while ago. What was that website? I don't know. I like how you are streaming live. What tool do you use on your phone? I'm just using, when you go live on TikTok, you can turn on dual cameras. So that little window right there is my back camera, and I just have my laptop sitting there. So that's just facing my laptop, and then the other one's facing this piece of glorious genetics. As someone said, I think you have something in your nose. It could just be my nose. Oh, and then how you switch, you just tap the little window. I tap it, and it swaps between the two. It's pretty slick. All right. I subscribe. I thought it would notify me when you're on, but it doesn't. I paid $5.99. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't pay $5.99. I'm sorry that you pay $5.99. You feel free to unsubscribe to this. I go live. I will help you for free. I'm sorry about that. AI music is not new. It existed a long time before now. I agree with that. Listen, a lot of these tools existed before this. Here's a fun little factoid. In the documentation for GPT-3, about a year and change before, like a year and a third before ChatGPT came out, in the documentation were instructions for how to create ChatGPT. And Sam Altman assumed that someone in the development community would make ChatGPT. And for a year and a third, nobody made it. And then Microsoft was about to announce their $1 billion investment in OpenAI, and Sam Altman said to his tech team, hey guys, since no one's made this yet, could you just whip up some ChatGPT? And they built it in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And in 6 weeks after that, they had 100 million users. So the thing that changed everything was written in 2 weeks. So a lot of the music tools have been around. A lot of the image tools have been around. A lot of this stuff's been around. The big difference, why we're at an inflection point right now, is they put an interface in front of it that was simple enough for real people to experience the magic of AI, right? You input something that seems simple, like you put into a Google search, and what you get back is fucking remarkable. Explain quantum physics to me in an Eminem rap. Bang, out it comes. So that's what's different. What's different is non-scientists and researchers have access to these tools now. Technically, they had access to them before, but they were just a little too geeky. ChatGPT opened the dam. AI as a housekeeper robot. That will be coming. In fact, OpenAI just... hang on, let me see if I can find it. OpenAI robot. Yes. OpenAI beats Elon Musk taking your job. So this is a humanoid robot that like walks around a house and can open doors and do shit. Here, let's watch it together. I haven't seen this. Oops. So it's opening a box, putting shit in the box. It's got like little Segway roller feet. Check that out. Now it's squatting. So it's opening a door, it's opening a window. Yeah. So yes, the humanoid robot Eve, with its human-like appearance and robotic hands, stands out from its contemporaries like Boston Dynamics. Its capabilities include opening doors, windows, manipulating objects, setting new standards in the realm of humanoid robots. Elon Musk said at the last Tesla shareholder meeting that he feels like the total addressable market for humanoid robots is one for every person on Earth, maybe two. so that's Elon for you. Everyone, a robot for you, a robot for everybody. But it's coming. All right, it's great for fields. It's great for general fields, but more niche stuff. Adobe Generative Fill isn't too awesome. Yeah, so Adobe Generative Fill, again, here's the thing. Don't look at any of these tools right now as complete tools. Like it's I guess it's in beta, but like the Adobe training model is an incredibly limited model. They didn't train it on a lot of stuff they could have because they wanted it to be commercially viable. Here's what I say about a lot of this AI stuff. What you see today is as bad as it's ever going to be. So the fact that Adobe Generative Fill kind of sucks at certain things won't be for long. A year from now, it will be unrecognizable from what it's doing today. All right, everyone is an expert. If anyone who tells you they're an expert at this shit right now is lying. What a great use case, explaining stochastic gradient for any people such as the folks here. Yeah, exactly. Let's go. Need more than a surface statement. All right, so go to ChatGPT and make something. Apple iPhone has a ChatGPT app. Okay, be careful. The Apple App Store, and I assume Android, has many, many apps that are called ChatGPT that have a logo that's almost identical to OpenAI's, because those are charlatans trying to rip you off. If you want actual ChatGPT, go to that URL from a web browser, or go to the base openai.com website and click on their link for the official ChatGPT app. You should not have to pay for it. What about IBM? IBM just announced, I think it's called Watson AI. They're dusting off the Watson that kind of failed with Watson Health, and they're trying to become relevant again. They've got big technology here, but OpenAI has shaken everything up. It's shaken everything up. OpenAI has 64 models available from the API. Cool. Yeah, they've got lots of different models. Some are optimized for code, some are optimized for predictive stuff and analytical stuff and all sorts of things. So if you're a developer, there's lots to play with. Google Bard is still experimental, but will outperform all other AI models. I don't know that I agree with that, because I look at Apple and I look at OpenAI right now, and those are two companies that understand liberal arts. They understand humanity, the humanities. Steve Jobs was a master at combining technology and liberal arts. That's why Apple is what it is. Google is all about engineering. It's all left hemisphere. There's no right hemisphere. So I think companies that have a balance of left and right, that can go deep on the tech but can go deep on the humanity side, I think they're going to outperform Google. Now, Google will probably be faster. It'll probably be better at technical things. It'll probably be better at accurate things. But if you go use Google Bard, I did this yesterday on my live. I did, give me an M&M rap that explains quantum mechanics. Google Bard's was laughably bad. GPT-4 was shockingly good. Like, the gap between the quality of those two models right now is staggering. But if I were having it generate code, maybe Bard has a leg up. And also, Google's got tons of money and they got lots of scientists, so they're going to build some tools like the style copy tool that they just announced yesterday is remarkable, and it's doing incredible, beautiful visual stuff. So Google's going to have some good tools. I don't know that Google Bard is going to catch up to OpenAI, but they've got smart people there. Can you imagine working with a prompt engineer? They know everything. Can you imagine working with a prompt engineer? They know everything. Well, they don't know everything, but what prompt engineers or prompt crafters do know is how to ask these systems for things and get predictable results. I've been lagging sporadically. That sucks. All right. I'm sometimes lagging for some seconds, but not so bad as yesterday. Sorry about that. Oh, Xfinity. If anyone works for Xfinity, fuck you. If anybody knows anyone that works at Xfinity that can get my internet fixed, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Because I'd like to have some stable internet. If I had stable internet, I could do these lives without the lags. Lags suck. Want to build an app? Sure. What idea you got? I am in a just say yes mode for most projects right now because I want to figure out as much as I can in as short amount of time as possible. If you're new here, there's some new folks here. Okay, my name is Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I am learning about AI and sharing what I'm learning in real time to try to get as many people up to speed as possible, because I think it's actually important for humanity. I think we also happen to be living in a very amazing time at the dawn of a transformative moment. I think this is bigger than the Industrial Revolution. I think it's way bigger than the personal computer. I think it's way bigger than the World Wide Web on top of the internet. I think it's bigger than the iPhone. And so that's why I'm doing this. So that URL right there, chat.openai.com, that's ChatGPT's official website. So if you've not played with ChatGPT, while you listen to me ramble on a Saturday afternoon, here in the States anyway, go play there. And then if you don't know how to do prompting and you're like, what are these people talking about prompt engineering? go to that thing, prompts.chat, and it will explain to you a lot about prompting and give you a bunch of ideas. So go do that. Analyze how. What a great use case. Okay, so let's see. I keep getting my TikTok things are. Sorry, words not coming. We often serve the bosses instead of the customers. I know. It's true. Snapchat AI helped explain parts of my gene test to me. It was awesome. Wow, that's cool. That's really cool. I think all of the complicated documents, the complicated documents that we get, like you go buy a car and they hand you this stack of papers and they're like, sign here. And you're like, I should probably read this shit. But then you go try to read it and your eyes start bleeding. And you're like, I can't possibly read this. We're going to very quickly be in a place where we'll just be able to snap a picture of that document. It will instantly analyze it for us and say, according to, section 3, they're ripping you off. So I think that will come there. Someone's thanking me for my efforts. Thank you for acknowledging my efforts. When's the first AI human marriage coming? I know you're saying it jokingly, and we've got enough sci-fi movies. But if you haven't seen Lars and the Real Girl, that movie, which is about a guy that has a relationship with a sex doll, and you initially think this is going to be the creepiest, worst movie in the history of all movies. And then you watch it and it's one of the most sweet and endearing and moving stories you've ever encountered. It's just one of those things where my expectation going in and what it was, they couldn't be more different. I think that virtual companionship is actually going to be a good thing. Are there going to be creepy pieces of it? Yeah. But there's a lot of lonely people out there, and I think it's actually going to be a thing. So, will there be a marriage? Listen, people love attention. So someone is going to marry a robot just so they can make the evening news, and someone will make the evening news because they married a robot. But I actually think that virtual companionship is actually going to be a big thing, an important thing. Not always good, but there's a lot of lonely people out there, and that sucks. How long before Bard and GPT-4 are brought to Google Home Hubs and Alexas? Very, very soon. It's going to be in everything. Thoughts on free LLM models? So there's a paper, if you want to read it or have ChatGPT read it for you, which is how I read all my papers now. Wait, hang on. Sorry. Looking up my nose, which apparently there's something in. Let's see. We have no moat. If you go search on Google for "we have no moat," the first link is this paper called "We Have No Moat." And what this is this is apparently a leak. I don't know. It's possible it's a leak. It's possible it's just them putting information out into the world. But this is an engineer from Google basically saying that the free large language models that engineers are playing with, they're getting similar results with $100 of training as what took Google like months and $10 million of training. So the free large language models are getting incredibly powerful. There's lots of them out there. I'm sure a lot of them are pretty weak and weird and not great. There's others of them that looks like they're starting to get good. But I think what we're going to see is probably within a year, you're going to have very small files that you can just install on your phone or your iPad or your computer that are kind of GPT-4 quality large language models that do not require an internet connection. I think we'll start seeing these large language models be burned into chips, where they're just installed. Like every device is going to have incredibly deep capabilities because of these things. So my thoughts on them are they're absolutely remarkable. Now, what's the downside of these free models? They are open source and they are as powerful as GPT 3.5 right now is about it. but they have no safety guardrails. So GPT 3.5 and GPT 4, when you ask it to do something bad, it goes, yeah, we're not going to do that. Go ahead and go fuck yourself. These free large language models, if you're a bad actor and want to do bad shit, you're free to do it. There are no safety guardrails on them. So you can train it to do whatever the hell you want. So there's a dark side to the open source argument. The Adobe image extension feature is brilliant. Oh, wait. I don't know what that is. Adobe image extension? Oh, that's the generative fill. Oh, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Which of these do I think is best? I don't know which of which. Are you an AI? I'm GPT-5. Nice to meet you. Don't I seem lifelike? No? I just lost my place again. God damn it, TikTok. Your scrolling sucks. What time is it? 2:26. I gotta go soon. I gotta go shopping or something. I gotta do something for my family. You're like, why are you doing those lives all the time? I'm like, I like these people better than I like you, your family. Trying to find myself again. What was that website? Replicate style. Oh boy. Now I'm way back to way before where I'm supposed to be. Trying to catch up. Hold please. 4:04 Eastern time. Sometimes lagging. Oh, we've been through all these. I'm just zooming around the questions. Hold please. Please summarize in 5 bullet points. Yeah, you can have things summarized in 5 bullet points. If you use a voice module and write a slash, then you can get out speech here in TikTok. Wait, if you use a voice module and write a slash, then you can get out speech here in TikTok. I don't quite know what that means, but it sounds cool. I'm an old guy using TikTok. What the hell do you want from me, people? Apparently, I'm also not supposed to drink on camera, so I'm going to go drink this off camera. Iced coffee. Tasty. How can I use AI to improve the sales in my organization? Our sales is going down recently. Welcome to the fucking club. Sales right now is nearly impossible. It's really good for research. So I was trying to identify some sales prospects, and I was like, go find this particular role. Like, give me the top 10 companies that do this particular function. Now go find me the VP of whatever it was, like the VP of marketing, for those companies. And it did that. And I'm like, give me the headquarters and give me the link to the website. So it's good at research. Using something like Zapier, you can automate inbound and outbound emails. As emails come in, you can have it automatically turn around and write very personalized responses to sales prospects. Lots and lots of ways. I mean, what I would encourage you to do is think of ChatGPT like a consultant, like an assistant for your sales organization, and tell it your situation. Explain as much as you can about what you do and what's working and what's not working and what you see has changed, and have it suggest strategies for turning things around. And then once you find strategies it recommends that you like, have it expand on those. So think of the interaction more like you're interacting with a consultant you hired, and it might give you some ideas that can help get you out of it, but it's tough. What does the robot identify as? That's a good one. FYI, you don't have such a module. I think you guys are talking to each other. That's cool. Andrew Beebe. Andy B. Sorry. And I thought it was Andrew Beebe because it's Andy B. Anyway. All right. Will we see NVIDIA? Oh, God damn you, TikTok. Will we see NVIDIA CUDA cores and LLMs changing the world? Well, I think these large language models are changing the world. And right now, NVIDIA, they've been around for a while, and they got really big with gaming, and then they got really big with blockchain and NFTs. And now they just hit $1 trillion market cap with these large language models. So I think they're going to be around for a while. Like, NVIDIA's a pretty impressive company right now. I don't know who competes with them. Wasn't it Microsoft that just said they're going to make their own chips because they don't want to be beholden to Nvidia? Someone just said that. I think it might have been Microsoft. 3 stock recommendations for AI. I have a degree in acting. I'm not good at that. I think the companies that I think right now are killing it in the space, not all of them are investable. OpenAI, obviously. Microsoft, Nvidia. I think I would be surprised if Apple didn't have something pretty impressive to announce on Monday. So I think Apple's going to be a big player in this space. I think Anthropic is a really interesting company, but I don't know what you can invest in, or I would certainly not. I am Glamour GPT-10. That's great. The TikTok slash thing means we can talk to you with a voice. You don't have to read. Oh, that's cool. So wait, so try that. So wait, if you put a slash in front of one of these, what do I do? Click on it? Tap on it? Because I saw one earlier. Hold. This is a test. Oh, I don't have the module installed. So I need to install the module? Damn it. I don't know what I'm doing here. All right, let's see. Stock Rex. Today, hello, brother. Someone said hello, brother. Who said hello, brother? Nerval. Hello, brother or sister. How will this speed up medical research? Dramatically. If you've heard of AlphaFold, AlphaFold is a Google DeepMind project that predicted the intricate folding shapes of 400,000 proteins in like 4 days or 3 days, some ridiculous amount of time like that. And historically, that would have taken like 2 months of traditional compute time to do one, and they did 400,000 in a few days. I think the scientific advancements in the next 5 years are going to be just face melting. There was a guy, I think in England or Italy, I think it was Italy, who's been paralyzed for 12 years due to a motorcycle accident. They just used a large language model. They built a Bluetooth bridge around the damaged part of his spine, put electrodes in his spine, imaged his brain when he was thinking about moving his legs, using large language models to interpret the data, hooked up the Bluetooth and said, all right, think about walking now. And he's now walking. They're actively curing paralysis as we speak using large language models. So I think it's going to speed up medical research in ways that we can't even fathom. If you teach ChatGPT how to do a task, will that knowledge cross over to all users? Not really. So it doesn't really have memory. They're taking what people are doing with ChatGPT and they're fine tuning it, but it's not like the thing that you figured out, it will figure it out. It will figure out. What you can do now with ChatGPT is you can copy and share prompts. So let me show you. Bum, 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 bum. So over here's my chat history. Oh, I've got a glare on my screen because of the light. Over here in my chat history, they've now added a share button. So if I click this share, I can share this prompt with other people. So I can copy the link down here on the bottom and share that with other people. So if you come up with a thread with a prompt and a series of things that's really good, you can copy that and share it with people. If you use something like LangChain, which stitches together a number of tools, but one of the tools that's in LangChain is what's called a vector database. So that's basically memory. So if you put together something like LangChain, then the things that you create, if you're writing those results into memory, you can then search on them in the future. But it's not straightforward right now. I would say give it a year. When Microsoft really rolls out large language models integrated into their entire suite, this is all going to become much easier. So right now it's just janky and shitty, but it will get less janky and less shitty. How do I think government... Oops, hang on. Will regulate AI, hopefully smartly. But they don't fucking understand how Wi-Fi works, so I don't quite know how that's going to happen. I think they need to have smart people on advisory panels. Sam Altman has been decently aggressive about cooperating with government and saying you need to regulate us, and here's how I think you should do it. Hopefully, they listen to smart people. I think Sam is one of them. I think that we will see governments fuck it up before they get it right. Because at some point, something's going to happen. Something will be headline making that AI killed someone, or AI did this, or AI did that, or AI tanked the banking sector, or whatever it is. And then the government will panic and try to shut shit down. But you're not going to be able to shut down things that are now open sourced. If this were all sitting in the hands of Google and OpenAI, like it was for a while, that would be a different story where you could just kind of shut down those companies. But now that it's kind of out and open source and in developers' hands and things like that, I don't think you can put the genie back in the bottle. So the only plausible way you could actually stop it is to shut down the internet. And they're not going to do that because that's the entire economy infrastructure these days. So I think they're going to have to deal with it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't make stupid moves to try to control it, because the problem if they try to control it too much is they stymie innovation and the rest of the world ain't going to stop. But at the same time, I think these things need to be taken seriously. Cybersecurity is a big important, there's big important implications for that. Yeah, so I don't know enough about government to know anything other than I should be cynical about it. And I am. I'm a Gen Xer and I'm cynical and I'm bitter, and that's how I like it. Oh, there's more people here than were here before. Okay. Hi, my name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. I talk about all things AI here. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. If you're new to AI, if you have not played with ChatGPT, cool, but end that today, right now. Go to that address while you listen to me ramble and whine and drink coffee. Chat.openai.com. Go there. And that's the official ChatGPT website. And just start playing. Start asking it to do things. Ask it to write you a song for your significant other or your pet. Ask it to, this is a fun one. Ask it to give you a meal plan for the week that includes, 5 obscure ingredients. And then it'll do that. And then tell it to create a shopping list for you. And then have it organize that shopping list by category of the grocery store. And just watch what it does. And then go, it could do that? I didn't know it could do that. And then when you pick your jaw up off the floor, ask it to write you a Python program and watch it do that. And then you'd be like, what? It could do that too? So, yeah, go play there. Do I have a degree in artificial intelligence? I have a degree in acting. I'm CEO of a video technology company. I've been an entrepreneur for many, many decades now. I got in on the ground floor of the early days of the World Wide Web. I started one of the first digital agencies in 1994, a company called agency.com. And I recognized in 1994 that the web was going to change everything and that no one knew it. And I had a really cool experience where I published an online magazine from my apartment in Brooklyn. I uploaded the files to a computer in California on a dial-up modem. And 3 weeks later, there was a full-page article about my magazine in a Parisian newspaper halfway around the world. And I recognized in that moment that the world had changed, but no one knew it yet. And so I was lucky enough to kind of be there at the beginning and kind of be able to see what was coming. I had a similar epiphany in December of 2022, last December, where I was playing with ChatGPT and asked it to write me a Python program. And in 90 minutes, I wrote a fully functional Python application that took user inputs about a certain topic and generated 5 different pieces of social media content. I wrote that application with calls to the OpenAI API in 90 minutes. I've never written a line of Python in my life. And that was my big breakthrough moment about, holy fuck, the world just changed. Like, this is another one of those. This is like on the level of the World Wide Web, the personal computer, the Industrial Revolution, the printing press, fire, written language. Like, there aren't many of these. And we're lucky enough to live in an era where there've been a number of these in a very short amount of time. This is a big one. So that's why I'm geeking out on this stuff. But no, I do not have a machine learning background. I know how this stuff works, but I don't know how the fuck they do it. AlphaFold is like SETI. It really is. Okay, what's the best way to learn AI engineering? If you want to learn AI like machine learning engineering, like the engineering side, then I would say go to school or have ChatGPT teach it to you. If you mean, how do I learn AI prompt engineering and how to use generative AI tools? Just get hands-on. Watch YouTube videos. Watch TikToks like mine. Watch Rachel Woods. She's got a TikTok channel. Watch Mackenzie Bowes. If you're decently geeky, there's a guy on YouTube named David Shapiro, brilliant machine learning scientist, and he's creating an AGI kind of platform. Really wicked smart guy. So depending on, just figure out your level of geekiness and then go find people that are just talking about this shit and start playing. Just get in that weird, uncomfortable zone where you're like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm doing here. Nobody knows what they're doing here. I feel clueless every fucking day with this. And I've been like obsessing about it for 6 months now, like 9 months now. I've just been like, and I feel clueless every day. So just feel clueless, jump in, feel the feelings, feel the feels, as they say, as the kids say these days. The Air Force is using it on their drones. Yeah, well, so there was an interesting article that the mainstream media jumped on, that an Air Force drone turned around and attacked its operator. And then it turned out, well, it was a simulation. And then it turned out, well, it was actually just a thought experiment where they said that could happen. And it was mischaracterized. So whether or not that happened or not, I don't know. The media jumped on it, though, because the narrative of the robots are going to kill us is a strong one that sells, gets eyeballs and shit like that. I think it's pretty irresponsible, and it makes me cranky. But what are you going to do? All right, let me answer a few more questions, and then I got to go live my Saturday life. Maybe I'll come back later tonight. That's not the original ChatGPT site. Yes, it is. Chat.openai.com. That's that's ChatGPT. Chat.openai.com is the original ChatGPT site. If you're on another one, you're not on the original. That is the site. Are you still out here blowing minds? I'm still out here. The minds might be blowing is like, why is he still talking? Thank you again for the information. Thank you for your instruction. You're welcome. I'm acting like a guy. So you're acting like a guy who knows about AI. I am. That's why I have an acting degree. It's mind-blowing. I know that I act like I know this much. Mansplaining as a service. At your service. All right. What was the prompt to write a Python program? Let's go write one. Link. Okay. We're going to do new chat. So, and I'll do this on GPT 3.5 because that's the free thing. So even if you're not paying for it. So I'll say, I am completely new to programming, and I heard Python is the way to go. I want to write an application that takes in some user input and sends a prompt to the OpenAI the OpenAI GPT API. Is this something you can help me make? I don't need to learn the programming. I just want help making the application. Now, if it seems like that's a little wordy and like more like I'm talking to a a senior programmer, or like I'm a product guy talking to an engineer. Like one of the things that I've learned is the more context that you give GPT, the better it gets. So if I hit return now, certainly I can help you get started. Here are the basic things. Set up Python. Install Python on your computer. So it gives you the link of where to get it. Install the required packages. You'll need to install the OpenAI package to interact with it. Pip install. So it's telling me some command line stuff here. So I don't understand all this, but look, there's some. Let's see. Write the application, create a new Python file, and open it in a text editor. Here's the simple example of how the code would look. There's your OpenAI key. There's your user input, enter a prompt. It already pulled the DaVinci 003 engine for OpenAI. It gave it a max number of tokens of 100, and then it's going to print the responses to screen. Make sure you replace your API key. So it's telling me what to do. But what I can say here is I don't understand how to do any of the local installing. Is it possible to run this Python application on a website? ? Yes, it's possible to run it on a website. And what did it tell me here? Use a web framework like Flask or Django to create an application using Flask. So they're still saying pip install. So they're still having me install stuff from the command line, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to say, I don't want to use command line. Is there a website that runs Python apps without me installing anything? Boom. Yes, replit.com. And then it gives me the instructions of how to go to replit.com. You can customize the project. You can do it, right? So, and then let me see. Yeah, that's it. So you get the basic idea. So in a very short amount of time, you can have it do something. I'll show you another cool thing. We're going to go over to GitHub. So GitHub is this code repository. Let me sign in here. Oh, I've got two-factor authentication. Screw it. You can take the README file from GitHub and go to ChatGPT, paste the README file in there, and say, I'm on OS X. Give me a step-by-step instructions for how to get this GitHub repository up and running. And then you can even say, just give me one instruction at a time and don't move on to the next instruction until I say okay. And it will walk you step by step through the process. So how can we make money with AI? Don't worry so much. The generative AI tools are just tools. How you make money is the way we've always made money. It's like the answer to that question is no different than how do I make money with Photoshop or how do I make money with a lawnmower. How you make money with any technology, with any tool, is you say, what's a problem someone's got that I can solve, that if I solve it well enough, they'll pay me for it. So I would say, take things where you know a pain point, you know where there's a problem that you can solve, and if you can figure out how to use AI to solve that, then that's how you make money with it. I'm a fairly good actor. Thank you. I shoot for fairly good. I don't want to be award winning. Fairly good is where that's what I'm looking for. So that's exciting. All right. What business would I start today? I would start short term. I think I would probably start either a software development company or an agency that is all in on AI. And what I would shoot for is being 10 to 30 times faster, cheaper, or better than the competition. Because I think for the next 2 years, there are going to be 3 to 4 person companies that are executing at the level of a 30 or 40 person company. And those 3 to 4 person companies are going to be able to knock off big competitors. So I'd probably I would find 2 or 3 other very smart, AI brilliant people, not AI brilliant, brilliant people that know how to use AI tools. And I would probably find one that's good with technical stuff, one that's good with visual stuff, one that's good with business and word stuff, marketing, business. And then I'd probably find an operations person, someone to make sure we don't go out of business. I think with those 3 people, you could probably be doing a level of work that you could do with a 30 or 40 person company. So I don't know what I'd do it in right now, but it would definitely be leaning in heavy into AI. Looking forward to your live streams like this one. Thank you. Appreciate that. Is the upgrade to GPT worth it for writing books? Yeah, GPT-4 is just much better. You can use, if you just want to use GPT-4 and you don't want to pay for it, just go to bing.com. Bing.com. And then when you go to Bing, it'll say, ask me anything, but up here right next to the Bing logo is this chat, and that is ChatGPT. And there's 3 different conversation styles: more creative, more balanced, and more precise. So depending on the kind of writing you're doing, if you're doing technical writing, you might want it on more balanced or more precise. If you're writing screenplays or novels, you might want it on more creative. So this is GPT-4. I think it's a little more hobbled than OpenAI's version of it, but it's free. So for me, the upgrade to ChatGPT is worth it. So the upgrade gives you ChatGPT Plus, and then on the upper part of the screen here, you've got access to GPT 3.5, which is fast. And you've got access to GPT-4, and then you've got 3 models currently within it. You've got the default, which is what it used to be. You've got Browse with Bing, so this is internet-connected ChatGPT, and then you've got plugins. There's all sorts of plugins for writers, and there's going to be more and more and more. So I think the ability to do all this stuff right now is worth the upgrade. Now, Bing is already connected to the internet. ChatGPT is using Bing, and they have also announced that they're going to support the OpenAI plugin architecture. So Bing.com is going to be able to support all these plugins. So the distance between Bing.com and current ChatGPT is small, but there's a thing coming out for GPT-4 called Code Interpreter that is absolutely mind-blowing. So the reason I like paying for this is these guys are the ones leading the charge right now. So I want as early access as I can to the tools that they put out. So I think it's worth it. But yeah, GPT-4 is significantly better at basic writing skills than GPT 3.5. It's just better. It's just good. It's really good for things like, it's good. It's solid. It's so solid. So solid. I don't know if you know this, but it's solid. Salad. I like salad sometimes. I like a little chicken on my salad. Or use Agent GPT. I made I-18N with 28 languages. You can find yours too. That's cool. Yeah, Agent GPT is pretty cool. All right. Sir, here is the point. Better if you don't even try to copy and paste the codes. Not sure what that means, but yes, don't copy and paste codes. We already have a lot of script kiddies. Don't know what that means. Cool. You can also just download a GitHub repo. The problem with GitHub repos, if you're not a technological person, is they're confusing as fuck. Same with Hugging Face. Like, Hugging Face is a remarkable site with remarkable power in it, but like GitHub, it assumes that you're an engineer and you can figure that shit out. It needs a large language model sitting on top of it to help you figure it out, in my personal opinion. All right. couple of more questions. Check out speedtolead.io to make money. It's affiliate marketing. I would avoid that shit, but that's my personal opinion. If you don't want to pay for it, then use the local. If you don't want to pay for it, then use a local version of an LLM. Yeah, you can use open source LLMs, but Bing is free, and it's you don't have to install anything. The problem with installing local LLMs is you got to find the right repo. They're changing all the time. You're going to install something that's then going to break. It's just we're at that early awkward stage of the industry where you have to be a bit of a geek if you want to do anything outside of the norm. I created my account. Good on you. That's awesome. All right. Looks like we've got some new folks here. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. We're learning about AI. Well, I'm learning about AI, and then I ramble incoherently talking about what I've learned. And I try to tell people what I know, and then trolls tell me that I have things coming out of my nose, and I look like Fat Alec Baldwin or Rosie O'Donnell. That's how we started this live. You look like Rosie O'Donnell. There was a large conversation about that, which apparently I do. So I think it's the hair. Is it pretty? Do I look pretty? I look so pretty. Anyway, I'm also a smartass and a Gen Xer, and I'm bitter. That URL, chat.openai.com, that's the official ChatGPT website. I do not make any money from that. I just put it there because that's the official site. I was told it wasn't, but it is. And then prompts.chat is a thing that will help you learn about prompting and give you some ideas. And Futurepedia is just a list of tools that will melt your brain. There's too many of them to even manage anymore. I find Bing's ChatGPT to be very taciturn and lazy. I agree with you, Natalia. I think that, or Natalia, ever since the New York Times wrote about Bing telling the reporter that he should leave his wife and run away with him or with her, Sydney, they kind of hobbled it. They lobotomized Sydney, and she's just not as good. So I agree that the official GPT-4 is good. Is Poe worth paying access for the expanded upload? I think so, but so here's the deal. Let me show you what. So Beth, I think Poe is worth paying for. So what Poe gives you access to is their own model, Sage, and then these ones that say subscribe, those are ones you have to pay for, but you also get Claude Instant, that's Anthropic's Claude. Claude Instant is incredibly fast, and then ChatGPT. So if you pay the subscription, you get access to GPT-4, which fine. You get access to Claude Plus, which is Anthropic's version of GPT-4, and then you get access to Claude Instant 100K. So it's a 100,000 token context window, which means you can paste in up to 75,000 words into your prompt chat and start interacting with it. So where I've used that is I do a biweekly AI salon that it's a 2-hour salon where we bring in a guest speaker and we talk about what's going on in AI. And so every one of those is transcribed. It ends up being about a 56-page transcription. I can literally with Claude Instant 100K, I can copy and paste those 56 pages out of that transcript, pop it in there and start asking it questions about the transcription. So if you've got big documents that you want to kind of deal with in an ad hoc basis, I think it's really good. Claude also allows you to make your own bots. So I made like a Sling Blade bot and a Yoda bot and a Shakespeare bot. I've made like a dozen of these things now. So if you go to poe.com/IamYoda, you can interact with Yoda or Shakespeare or Emily Dickinson. So I think it's pretty cool. I can't wait to be making 200K and just have to type prompts. That is likely in your future if you're willing to take the time right now. I think anyone that takes the time to basically go to that URL and start figuring out how to pull interesting results out of these things is going to be in demand. There's going to be a tipping point where companies start to panic and realize, oh shit, we need to figure this stuff out. Someone earlier was saying they went to their boss and they said, I want to use AI to help solve the problems of our business. And their boss told them to, take a flying fuck, and they wanted to go talk to the experts, which there are no experts. I think anyone who's got any sort of sense of how to use these tools is going to be in incredible demand. So I don't think you're that far away from that future of being paid $200,000 to just write words. But you'll also have to do things like think critically about what you want the tools to do and curate the best answers and refine the best answers and generate good results. And if you don't do any of that shit, you'll get fired from your $200,000 job. But the opportunity's there. Can I make a demonstration with the Wolfram Alpha plugin? This will be fun. Okay. So here's how we're going to do this. I'll show you how you get to. So you go to GPT-4. Okay, I'm going to take you from the beginning. So if you're on ChatGPT and you pay for ChatGPT Plus, the first thing that you need to do to be able to get to plugins is you go to your settings. And then in your settings, you go to the second option here, beta features. And there's browse with Bing and there's plugins. You have to turn those on. So you have to proactively turn on access to plugins. But then when you go to GPT-4, you've got these three modes: default, browse with Bing, and plugins. So we'll go to plugins. And now you see a list here of plugins. There's a whole bunch of plugins. And in any session, you can turn on or off up to 3. So if you don't have access to Wolfram Alpha, then you go to the plugin store. And the plugin store is just like the App Store, but it's got all these plugins in it. Oh, there's Wolfram Alpha right there. And then you can search for it, and then you hit install, right? So there's Wolfram. It's installed, but you would hit install. And then you've got access to it. Then you go back here, and you pop down your little menu here. I'm going to turn off Ask Your PDF. I'm going to turn on Wolfram Alpha. If I can find it, there it is. Okay, so Wolfram Alpha plugin is there. So now, I'm going to say, I don't know much about math, but would love to, would love for you to give me 10 possible, possible equations that I might try to solve. I don't know. Let's see what this does. That should not fire off the Wolfram Alpha plugin, but it should just give me some equations. But it's thinking right now. This thing where GPT-4 just hangs a little bit, I've been experiencing this more and more. I think they're a little busy. They're like, hey, people, stop using our fucking Remarkable service. Our computers can't keep up. Sure, be happy to. Wow, that took a while. Here they are. The linear equation, the quadratic equation, that I've heard of, the cubic equation, equations involving fractions and equations with roots, absolute values, exponential equations, logarithmic equations. Okay. Let's see. What might be the data I would use? I would need to, let's see, I would need to use a logarithmic equation, ? Logarithmic equations are used in situations where you're dealing with stuff, compound interest. Oh, okay, that's good. Population growth. Okay, I'm going to stop generating here. Can you give me a sample data table for population growth? Let's see if it'll give us some synthetic data here. All right, now it's going to Wolfram Alpha. And now we can open this. So it says it used Wolfram Alpha. Let's see what it did. So it said input population growth. It's a table. And then it generated, okay, so it actually generated a table for us with population growth from the year 2000 to the year 2010. This table is based on the formula for exponential growth. P equals P to the 0 times 1 plus R to the T, where P is the final population, P0 is the initial population, and R is the growth rate, blah, blah, blah. Can you use a logarithmic equation on this data? Question mark. Yes, you can use a logarithmic. For example, if we want to find out how long it will take the population to reach a certain size, so there it's giving the thing. Now let's see if it fires off Wolfram Alpha. Yeah, so there it fired off the Wolfram Alpha plugin. So it's now generated all this code and sent that off to, oh no, the input, wait, the query was log 1,500 over 1,000. So how long is it going to take to get to 1,500 people? Then it gave the growth rate, I assume. Assumption, assuming log is the natural logarithm, to use the base 10 logarithm, the assumption of blah, 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 blah. Input, blah, result. So there's all the results from Wolfram Alpha, the raw results. And then it synopsizes that for you. According to the logarithmic equation, it will take approximately 20.48 years for the population to reach 1,500. So there's how you do it. I've never used Wolfram Alpha before, but you can have ChatGPT teach you enough about math to ask how to use Wolfram Alpha, which is what we just did. Ain't learning fun? I ain't got no book smarts, but I got some ChatGPT, so I don't need books anymore. Education is so last decade. Hope that helps. Best AI usage for a veterinary hospital. Geez. Potentially helping diagnose things. It could help with marketing. It could help with how to have difficult conversations if a dog is, or if a pet is sick or dying or dead. It could help with, so an almost easier question would be, what couldn't it help with? So here's how I'd flip that around. I would say, take areas of your business that you want to improve or that you think might possibly be improved, and then kind of state it as a problem. Here's a problem I want to solve. And then think about, how could generative AI actually support that, right? So maybe it's, you want more friendly images on your marketing materials. Okay, then learn how to use Midjourney and come up with happy pictures of dogs and people and things like that. If you are struggling with hard conversations and your staff is getting really stressed out for having these hard conversations, have it help you come up with a strategy for how to have those conversations and write scripts and create training materials. If you want to use it in a clinical sense, you need to be way more careful, obviously, but it is incredibly capable and knows a lot. So it could maybe help with diagnoses on a tough case, or it could, you could generate tips and tricks documents. If a dog's been through surgery, here's a tip and trick document personalized to that dog and that family. So, lots and lots of ways. How can I build functional forum with ChatGPT without codes and cheap step by step? I don't know what a functional forum is. I assume you mean like a chat forum. I would start to learn about no-code tools like Zapier or Make. There's tools out there that you don't need to code. You do need to pay for Zapier, but it's cheap. So anybody experiencing slow ChatGPT, like it just doesn't seem as smart. For me, the smart thing, it hasn't gotten dumber, but it has gotten slower. Like we just saw that on that Wolfram Alpha thing that I just played with. Can you tell me about Perplexity? I heard about it, but I don't know anything. I played with Perplexity once. I don't think it's its own standalone thing. I think it's built on top of ChatGPT, but I honestly don't know. Sorry, I don't know about that. Sorry to hear about that, the bidder thing. No, when you're Gen X, bidder's like a hobby when you're Gen X. Where do you find plugins for ChatGPT? Right within ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a famous chat box. Okay, or chat bot. uh. 56-page use case is great. Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. What do you mean by make here? I am Yoda. Wait, where did it go? Okay, so here's I am Yoda. Greetings. Ready to do or do not, there is no try. Teach you the ways of the Force I will, but caution you I must. Shortcuts there are not. Awaken the Force within, we shall see. Oh, sorry, it's not focused. Come on, focus. There you go. So I say, let's see. Why is it always raining? Question mark. Raining, why it is? Clouds form, precipitation falls, but sadness I sense in you. So it's acting like Yoda. So I made that bot. I also made one that talks like Shakespeare. I also made one that talks like Sling Blade and Emily Dickinson and a bunch of them. So let's see. I did Jay-Z, Steve Jobs, Maya Angelou, Mary Shelley, AI Learning Lab, Edgar Allan Poe, Mark Twain, myself. Okay, so those are all bots that I made. So when I talk about making a bot, also in the list here is this little thing called Create a Bot. And when you go there, you can add a picture. So I've been generating my pictures in Midjourney for my different characters. And then you name the bot. So this one might be, I am Tolstoy. I am Tolstoy. So then you give it a bot description. You say, this is Leonard Tolstoy, and he's going to do whatever. And then you say, what base model are you going to use? I'm going to use Claude Instant, or I'm going to use ChatGPT. I use Claude Instant because it's really fast. And then here's the prompt. So you are what's his name? Leonard Tolstoy, and whatever. And you give it background. You basically tell him what it is and how you want it to interact. Like if let's go in, I'll show you one that I've already written. I'll go in and edit it. We'll go look at the Yoda one. How do I edit? So I've got I am Yoda. There's the bot description. That's the thing that showed up before. Welcome you are an adventure of wisdom of the Force and subtleties of Jedi leadership we will embark on, blah, blah, blah. The prompt, you are Yoda, the well-known Jedi master from Star Wars. Engage with users by imparting your wisdom of the Force, leadership, and complexities of your galaxy. So I go on and on. So I've got this big, long prompt. Follow these guidelines. Keep your interactions brief unless a user requests in-depth mentorship or guidance. Do not say you work for the Jedi Council in any way. Do not refer to your own passing into the Force. Provide guidance as an individual. So all of those nuances there I added after it not working right. So that tells the bot what to do, and then there's an intro message, and then that's kind of it. And then you hit save and you're done. And that makes the bot. So that's how you make a bot using the Poe bot maker. And I don't even think you need to be a subscriber to make a bot with Poe. Does info from AI be detected as plagiarism? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. You can usually get around those plagiarism detectors. And I think those plagiarism detectors are going to be, they're not going to be all that important moving forward, because these large language models are going to be incorporated into every writing tool out there. So the distinction between what was written by human and what was written by a bot is just going to get cloudier and cloudier. And it's not really all that important. It's basically, if you're providing good, relevant content, who gives a shit how it was created? If you're producing crap, then you're an awful person and, you should be taken down. But these are incredibly powerful tools. Why would we not use them? I already have 3 years working with models and codes. They are amazing. I know what's cool about these tools is when you look at them from the outside, you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. What I'm finding is the deeper you dig into it, the more you learn about them, the more amazing it becomes. Like I have not had my mouth closed for 6 months now. I'm just like, really? It's just amazing. I'm in management, and they are going wild for this right now. It's really good for project management and product management stuff. Organizing. The large language models are incredible at analyzing like spreadsheets and documents and things like that. And yeah, really, really cool. Is this the right tool if I want to be a writer? ChatGPT? Yeah, it's a good one. I'm using Google Bard to write website copy. It works well. I would strongly encourage you to use GPT-4. I would compare Bard with Bing or GPT-4 at OpenAI. It is significantly stronger than Bard for writing copy. The plugin stores in ChatGPT itself, yes. Say respond as a math professor. Yeah, exactly. So that's an interesting thing. When you tell ChatGPT to act like a math professor or act like a Jungian psychologist or act like a novelist, what you're actually doing is you're narrowing what they call the latent space. You're narrowing sort of the possible world of answers that it will answer from. So if you ask it something about mathematics and you don't narrow it down like that, it will pull information for anywhere anyone has mentioned mathematics, which might include some idiot talking about, fake answers to real mathematical problems, as opposed to a professor of mathematics who's actually answering that problem. So if you don't narrow the focus, ChatGPT doesn't know the difference between the stupid student and the really smart professor. So by saying act as a math professor, it kind of narrows the area that it will pull its answers from, or its words from. It took longer because you weren't very specific. I know, but I'm doing this live. What do you want from me? I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. You had me at hello. You've got to identify it as a mathematics professor. I don't have to. If I had, it would have sucked less. I wrote a prop which used the Wolfram API in the background before it was implemented as a plugin. That's cool. How long till deliveries get handled by the bots? You can actually do that right now. One of the plugins is Fresh Direct. And so you can just say, create a meal plan for me for this week using the following main ingredients. Give me a shopping list. Go order it. And make me a shopping list and have it delivered. And it will fire up the Fresh Direct app and order your shit for you. And it will just come. You can do that right now. We are using it to write code. I use it to write warmer emails. Oh yeah, it's really good at that. You can write like a really bare bones email and say, warm this up. That's a great use case of it. If it's dead, the pet can be cloned. Yeah, that's coming too. Absolutely. Bitter is our resting face. Bitter? You betcha. Terrence McKenna. All right. I said I got to go, but I really have to go. All right. Telling deliveries. Okay, we're almost at the bottom of the questions here. So thank you all for hanging around. I appreciate it. So can other people use your bot? Yeah, if you go to, there's a bot discovery thing at Poe. But if you go, let's see, if you go to poe.com/ I am Yoda or I am Shakespeare, those are two of them that just work. So I'll just go to poe.com/ I am Shakespeare. And boom, it just takes you to I am Shakespeare. So, but there's a bot discovery thing there. So the Mark Twain one is mine. The Edgar Allan Poe one is mine. Yoda, Sling Blade, Emily Dickinson. Just go search for those folks. How much is a ChatGPT 4 subscription? So the official one from OpenAI is $20 a month. But you can use Bing.com for free, and that's built on top of GPT-4, but it's not as good in my opinion. So I think it is worth paying the $20 to OpenAI. I don't make anything from them, just to be clear, because I show this URL all the time. So I think the trolls are like, he's making a fortune by getting commissions. I'm not making anything. ChatGPT says it's not plagiarism. It's not plagiarism. It is generating original content word by word every single time it writes. Now, it's based on a training data that might have copywritten shit in it, that's where the gray area is. What plugin should I use for coding? I'm a junior developer. I don't know. Well, if you're a junior developer, I'd go to GitHub and start learning GitHub Copilot because it is fucking remarkable. I'd go there. If you're a developer, you're going to be there anyway. I'd like to make a chatbot locally in my laptop to interact with my PDF documents. Please advise. You're going to have to, I don't know exactly how to do that. One answer is wait for 6 months, because when Google and Microsoft release their Copilot tools within their suite of Office documents, you're going to be able to just search. You're going to be able to search across your local documents. So within 6 months, that'll be there. If you really want to do it now, you're going to have to install some local version. It's probably LangChain is probably the suite of tools where you've got an embedding database. You've got a vector database, like I forget what it's called. And you're going to have to embed your PDFs and things like that. So LangChain is the tool. I assume there's a version you can install locally. You're going to have to install an open source large language model. Or you can do it in a virtual machine like Google Colab. Or just wait. Just wait for 6 months and you'll be able to just do it. I'm going to use it to create a TikTok influencer, just like me. I'm a TikTok influencer, and I'm GPT-5. Nice to meet you. Can you describe your camera setup for doing these lives? It's just the dual camera option. When I go live, you can click one of the options is dual camera, and it's basically just in that little window is the back camera, and I'm the front camera. So nothing fancy. But you guys can jailbreak ChatGPT too. I don't, but hackers are doing that. Does Copilot support C#? Yes. Did Microsoft announce their version of Copilot? So Copilot in GitHub is owned by Microsoft. That's GPT-4's code-specific tool, and I hear it's incredibly powerful. So I would use Copilot in GitHub, and then they're rolling Copilot out across all of their suite of applications. Anyway, I've been here for 2 hours, 2 hours. It's been a pleasure speaking with y'all. I hope this helps. I'll check back in later. I'll maybe log in tonight and do another live, but I got to go shopping. I got to do domestic duties, and I also have a newsletter to get out. So I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.